protein shake.
Worked out.
I worked out.
Speaking of working out, what'd you do this week?
Worked a bunch and then did a 48-hour turnaround to go to LA to see Taylor Swift.
Yeah. How was that?
I'm so fucking tired.
You look tired.
So I didn't get off work until 8 something on Wednesday.
First off, was this really planned or was this just like a last minute, like, oh
No,
god, we actually got the tickets thing?
she literally got tickets on Tuesday.
Right, but I mean, like, was time off requested
No.
in case? Okay, so this was literally like, oh shit.
Yeah, so we're sitting. This is how it all works. So Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. We're sitting there, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "I got into the ticket sales for Taylor," and I was like, "Oh, wait, for when?" She's like, "Thursday." I was like, "Thursday what? The 9th?" And she's like, I was like, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever, like next week." She's like, "No, no, no, like this Thursday." And I was
Thursday.
like, "Oh shit, okay." So she's like, "I'm probably not going to get in because don't have a code. And
Mm-hmm.
Ticketmaster requires you to have a fan access code or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever, right?" So she's like, "Whatever." And it's ticking down. It says 2,000 plus and whatever. And it's going down, going down. She's freaking out. She's
Mm-hmm.
losing her mind. She's like, "Oh my God, it's going to." Like, I was like, just don't, like temper your expectations because they may ask for the code once you get in past the queue. And she's like,
Right.
"Okay, okay." And it's going through and going through. And she's like, "Oh man," blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, just do it. Do it, whatever you think is right. So she gets in and she's like, "Holy shit. There's standing room only tickets, which are like a general admission for like the not the upper deck, but like it's like level 400 or whatever. There's like standing area, like rails. I guess they were just like okay with people just
Leaning against him for what, 4 hours?
yeah, right. So I was like, all right, whatever. It's gonna suck on my old ass out of shape legs, but whatever. Um, so she's like, okay. So and they were like ended up being like after service fees, both tickets were like $140.
That's not too bad. I mean, it's not great for standing room, but
Yeah. So I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do. She's like, yeah, yeah. So she gets them, and I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be fucking interesting. She's like, and I was like, we better look for a hotel room
right.
because like 70,000 plus Swifties are landing in fucking LA, and they're gonna want to stay somewhere that's relatively
Plus,
close.
I was reading that there was a hotel worker strike
Yeah.
going on
So
at the same time. So I was just like, oh god.
and the worst part about it, so I'll get to that. Actually, I'll talk about it now. So she saw that too, and there's all these people talking about like these horror stories of like the people that were striking were in the parking lot banging on drums and all sorts of shit to try to keep like people from being enjoying their stay at the hotels or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be fantastic. And apparently it was like one union that like was a group of hotels. It wasn't like every hotel worker or whatever, right?
Gotcha.
Um, so we ended up staying at the same hotel we stayed at when we were there for Harry Styles, which we had a really good experience there the first time. Not so much this time.
Oh,
And it wasn't because of a strike. It was just because of a shitty fucking everything at that hotel. So it's right by LAX, and it's convenient because it's close to the arenas there, both SoFi and the Forum.
mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, so um, it's not that bad, right? So we get there, and they changed the security to get into the parking lot. They now have a ticket thing. You have to take a ticket to get in, and then you have to pay um, whatever unless you stay at the hotel. Then they give you like a flat rate,
Okay.
because a lot of places charge for their parking lot because why not, right? So I was like, whatever. It was 16 something for the night. I was like, whatever, cool. So we pay for that. We get ready to go up. One of the two elevators isn't working.
Oh, fun.
Hotel is probably pretty booked because it's Taylor Swift, the beginning of Taylor Swift's weekend, right? Or
Right.
week, I should say. Um, So I was like, oh, this should be interesting. So we wait for a while, finally get in. Then we notice that they have a thing in the elevator where you have to scan your room key before you can hit a floor. But it wasn't really working very well. Like you'd hit it and you press the button and the button would just deluminate.
Mm-hmm.
So you do it again and finally you get to go, right? So whatever. So there's that. The beds were hard as a rock. It was terrible, right? And like you could hear every single noise coming from everywhere. Like if someone turns the shower on in the room next to us, you could hear it like loudly. I was like, what the fuck happened to this place? So then whatever, right? It's no big deal. It's just one night. Except for it was a very long, shitty fucking sleep night that I have to then turn around and drive 6 hours back to Arizona after. But so we're getting ready to leave, and the way the way you leave the parking lot if you're a guest is you have your room key, you tap on it, lets you out. Because if you don't, you have to pay. You scan your parking ticket, pay for how long you've been there, right?
Makes sense.
So when we check out, they take the room key. So I was like, well, that's weird.
How do you get out?
Because they also took my parking ticket when I checked in. So I was like, so then she hands me this little card, which is do a review on Google, whatever, right? So I'm like, maybe that's gonna get us out or something, which I don't think it is.
You're just sitting there tapping this paper card.
Well, it has a QR code on it.
Oh, okay.
So
Maybe
I'm like,
QR code
yeah, I'm like, maybe it's gonna be like that, whatever, right? But I'm like, I don't think so.
No.
So we pull up to the thing, and I'm like, there's no way this is working. So I scan it. It's like, nope, not readable. I was like, all right. So I hit the help button. She's like, how may I help you? And I was like, well, I just checked out, and I need to leave the parking lot, but you all took my room key. She's like, yeah, you have to scan your parking ticket. I was like, I didn't get a parking ticket. I got a Google review card.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, hold on a second, and then hangs up. So I'm like, whatever. And then the security guard guy gets out of his car and goes, hey, you're going to have to go in to get a ticket. I was like, no, she said she's coming out here. I was like, no, you have to go inside. I was like, so now I have to reverse. I park. She comes walking out and she's like, oh, I'll scan you through. I was supposed to give you a ticket to get out. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever, right? So then we pull up the gate. Mind you, she just took my room key like 5 minutes ago. And I said, we're checking out. So we go to we're at the thing. She's like about to scan. She goes, you guys are leaving, right? You checked out? I was like, yes. She's like, oh, I was supposed to give you a blah blah blah. So I was like, all right, cool. She scans out and
Someone
I leave.
Also checked out.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Jesus Christ. And Paige is holding this fucking, give us a Google review. And I'm thinking, bro, you're about to get fucking blasted to the 10th power, bro. Dude, you have the busiest weekend of your entire fucking lives happening right now, and your hotel is falling apart. Like people, like it took us almost 30 minutes to get down to the lobby because of the one elevator.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I was like, yeah, bro.
Management needs to step up and actually fix things.
Yeah, and all you do is put a sign that says, hey, we're going to try to get this fixed as fast as possible. I was like, bro, this elevator should have been fixed last week. I don't know when it broke, but it should have been fixed last week because you're going to have...
Swift was coming to town.
Bro, dude. And the worst part was, so we got the hotel room for actually fairly cheap. Actually, very cheap. Because that same night, so Friday night, Paige was like interested in see what they... like $300 a room. Was
it makes sense.
Was the going rate, and I was like, wow. And
I'm surprised they didn't raise rates knowing that Taylor Swift wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we paid like I think our room was like $86 or something like that.
Yeah, that's way too low for having Taylor Swift in town.
And we were there. We were there night one for Taylor in LA. Mm-hmm. Well, LA, it's Inglewood technically, but whatever. So like we were there. Like that was the first night, which we should have been paying premium prices for.
Yes.
But we didn't. And I'm glad we didn't because there was no fucking chance I'd spend more than $100 for a night at that fucking hotel.
Right.
And the water pressure was terrible. I didn't take a shower because like it was just like blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll just take a whore's bath and I was like, yeah. Ugh. Um, it's funny too because we got there and the weather was really nice, and Paige's like, "Oh man, this is the weather we should be having." And I was like, "Yeah." See, the thing about that is though, wait till humidity hits, and she's like, "Well, it's not gonna be that bad." And it was Friday was kind of gross, not
I'm sure.
Florida bad gross, but it was pretty gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "No, that's not fun."
Well, that's cool. But
Yeah,
how was the concert?
concert
This is
was
your
awesome.
second time seeing this particular concert, right?
Yeah, so this was our second one. So we saw the very first date of the Eras tour here in Arizona. So it was
Mm-hmm.
the first night
Right.
of
'Cause
the
she
Eras
started
tour.
in Arizona for some reason.
Yeah. Then we saw the first show in LA of the Eras tour. But we also, I didn't know this, and Paige didn't really know this, but it should basically make sense because she hasn't been touring for like 5 years now since the pandemic and all. Um, this was her first ever show at SoFi.
Oh, okay.
So like that was kind of a monumentous thing too as well. But they're also filming a documentary film
Cool.
for the Eras thing, and it was they started filming that night.
You gonna
Which
be
is
in it? You don't know?
nah, I doubt it. We're way too high up for that because it was all focused on the stage or whatever, right?
Right.
Plus, I think the only people that were gonna be in it because they were in the site of cameras were gonna be people on the floor, which is by the way weird. They put seats down there instead
Yeah.
of just having general admission, but they also had restricted areas marked with pink tape where you couldn't so you couldn't be in the aisle dancing,
Mm.
um, which is I think because of the whole filming process, but also just to
Makes
make
sense.
it fucking better for people because you're not just crammed into a place, you know. But I was like, dang, like that's crazy. And then I didn't bring it. It's still in the car. But I told you last time they did like little light up bracelets, like
Mm.
LEDs. They had newer ones that were like bigger and better. They had four LEDs on them, and they lit up pretty crazy. And they did like different colors at different times. It was pretty cool,
God damn, the amount of money spent on this Eras tour
bro. Dude,
is
did you so
insane.
have you heard? I mean, we probably not in the fucking Taylor Swift news circle.
But that
Um,
she gave all bonuses to basically everybody that works for her.
so the truck drivers in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the end of the first leg of the tour. So she just announced a second U.S. or North America leg.
Right, which will be in Canada.
One of them will be in Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
One stop is in Canada, in Toronto. So, but she announced earlier, a few weeks back, the European leg of it.
Mm-hmm.
So then she announced that one. So, but basically, what happened with her truck drivers, because there's a lot of them apparently.
Mm-hmm.
One article said there's 30 truck drivers.
I don't doubt it with the amount of
Yeah,
equipment that has to be moved. I mean, that stage alone is huge.
yeah, oh yeah, and I guarantee you, she probably has more than one of those stages.
Could be, yeah, just in case
Because
something goes wrong.
yeah, like there's got to be a lot of like extra parts because there's a lot of shit that goes on in that stage. Like, the stage itself is literally screens and moves up and down. Like you gotta imagine that shit's got to be fucking
I've seen
perfect.
it. Yeah.
Anyways, so she gave all of them $100,000 bonus,
Mm-hmm.
and a few of them she gave a $200,000 bonus and a handwritten letter
Oh,
to them that actually like, and I'm saying handwritten, like this is personalized. Like each letter
yeah.
was apparently like specific to that person,
Mm-hmm.
like by name and everything. It was wild. And then to show a respect for her when they were leaving the last night in the Bay Area. So I think it was in Santa Clara, I think is where it was, because it's where just outside San Francisco. She was leaving in her limo from the stadium, and all the truck drivers had made a plan up when her limo was leaving, they would honk their horns.
Nice.
So they did that, and then the lead truck driver got a phone call from Taylor Swift's dad saying that she was in the limo crying because of how like how
You do good to people, people will do good
yeah.
to you.
So it was like, it was crazy, like it was nuts. And then all these reports are coming online. Oh, this is bullshit. And then like family members of the truck drivers are like posting like videos on TikTok and Instagram saying, no, this is real. Like my uncle's the truck driver for Taylor, and like he got blah blah blah. And she showed it blurred out part of the message, but they showed the handwritten note and like had his name on it, and it was like signed Taylor, like love Taylor or something. I can't remember what it said on there, and I was like, damn, this is fucking crazy. But
crazy.
by far, like the production on this one, I think was actually different than the first time we saw it, because they had AR effects.
Oh.
So the camera, so people who this is gonna be real good for audio podcast or visualization. If you look it up, you'll see it. It's the stage is interesting because the back of it is a giant screen. That part of it actually moves as a door to open up to let people in and out in different sizes too. It doesn't just open up in the middle. It like even a door part can open up, but it's like pulls back. It's fucking crazy. It's like the most elaborate shit I've ever seen in my life. Like Disney doesn't have this kind of fucking production value on some of their shit they do. So there's a part where it's supposed to look like it's snowing, right? So the stage, ice or snow starts to like fill the stage where she's standing, right? And the background on the video is changing, and it goes to a video of her, and she's superimposed on this background, and there's snow falling around her on the screen, right? But then the crowd with our little light up bands, they start lighting up like snowflakes falling.
Okay.
So then when you see the camera angle, you see in the background the bracelets, but they have it toned properly where it blacks out the crowd because it's kind of dark anyways, and it's just solid on her, but then it looks like snow falling in the background as she's moving, and then they digitally put in snow on the screen.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was, and that was just one of the things. I took more videos and stuff this time, and there's two parts in particular that are very impressive with, like, I'm guessing near field technology, because in one of the songs, the backup dancers and everything, they have these glowing orbs, and I think I talked about this last time, and they dance around with them, but when they first come out to surround her on the stage, it looks like this like witch thing. They're all wearing cloaks, and there's backgrounds like the woods or whatever. And as they're dancing with the globes, I noticed the screen behind them is reacting, and there's trails of the fire on the screen to the movements of the orbs behind them on this big screen. Then when they go out onto the stage, a trail of fire follows them in the exact movements.
Well, that's cool.
As they move with this globe around her, and then when they re-encircle her, they're moving, and you can see the fire effects moving along with them. Mm-hmm. And then later, one of the other eras, some of the backup dancers come out on bicycles that are like glowing blue, like Tron style, and they have trails that follow them on the stage from where the wheels are going. And I was like, bro, what? Like, all live. You know it's not choreographed because they're, like, moving. Like, and it's, like, to the exact movements of the bike.
Yeah.
So either that's the greatest choreography ever.
Right.
Or somehow they were able to track the movements of the bike to real time, and the stage reacts to it.
Wow.
Bro, dude.
I can see them having the ability to do that.
Yeah, and just the amount of technology and time for the bands to work the way they do is wild.
Well, especially with how they've gone through revisions as well.
Yeah, dude.
From the beginning, from the first day that you guys went, the bands are different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drastically
the fact
different.
That you get to take them home with
Yeah.
you and keep them means that they've just been like, whatever manufacturer that they have making these bands is just pumping these things out,
bro,
and shipping them to them.
Dude, yeah, it was wild. And it's funny too, because when the first time we left, the first show in here in Arizona, I didn't see anybody asking for us to turn them in. Mm-hmm. This time there was people saying, hey, if you'd like to recycle your bands, put them in here. And I was like, I'm keeping mine.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. Paige's like, oh, I'll put mine in, we don't need one. I was like, I wouldn't have done that shit. Yeah. Why do you think I have so many 3D glasses from going to movies?
I've turned those shits in.
I paid for that shit.
Yeah, I have a 3D TV. I can use those.
Exactly. Yeah. So I have it. I forgot in the car though. It is bulkier and bigger, but they are way brighter, and there's 4 LEDs in them versus the 2 I think were in the other one.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, the she did the whole diving into stage thing after the secret songs as they call it. This time, the openers were so as the tour has gone on, she's had different openers. Like when she first played here, she had Paramore opening for her.
It's so weird that Paramore.
Yeah.
For her.
So bizarre.
Like a big band is an opening band.
Yeah, and I don't know all the bands that opened her for all the other shows, but I do know that a band called Haim, I think is what the band's called. It's Haim. It's the last name
or something like that.
Yeah.
It's an all girls band.
Yeah,
right?
so it's 3 sisters.
Yes, 3 sisters. I've listened to them. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good live.
Really good.
I've never heard any of their music until then.
Okay.
But they're multi-talented. They play multiple instruments, all this fun stuff, whatever, right?
I have one of their songs on my phone.
They apparently they opened for Taylor after one album came out. What is it? Reputation, I think is what it was. Is that the album that came? I can't remember what album they said it was that they toured with her for, whatever, right? But they ended up doing a song with her on one of the albums. So whenever they open for her, they come out on stage and perform it with her. And they have the little risers again, the stage is bonkers, but in the middle diamond area, there's sections of the stage actually can raise at different times, like move during the performances. And they were on there, and it just kind of shifted around, and she moved back and forth between the 3 of them, and was singing with them and all that fun stuff. But that was pretty cool. But it was funny. The stage thing is funny because like when Taylor's on it, a lot of times she's solo on the stage. And she's just on the big stage walking around. And other times there's like band members, like guitar players and stuff will come out and follow her, and dancers and all fun stuff. But when the first opener came out, whose name escapes me right now, I could look it up. Something Abrams. Anyways, I'll look it up in a second. It's her band is just like the drummer, guitar player, and a bass player, and on this big giant stage up front in front of the screens, and they put them. The camera puts Gracie Abrams, that's her name, Gracie Abrams, up on the screen so you can see her, and then she started to walk down the stage to like wave at the crowd and all that fun stuff as she's singing, but she's like this little ant on the screen on the thing, and the stage itself, the floor isn't lighting up or anything for her. It's just the background, big screen behind her, and then so you go and you can see her or whatever. And then the same thing with the other band, Haim. They come out and they were kind of wandered a little bit with their guitars and stuff. But like when Taylor does it, like it's obviously a bigger production or whatever, right? But when you kind of see it, it's like the screen or the stage isn't lit up, so it's just like these little figures walking on this dark screen. And you're like, oh, that doesn't really have the same effect if you're up here versus like down there. But also if you're down there and they're only up against the back, they're still kind of far away from you, whatever. But it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was. The differences are, for the most part, the song list was exactly the same, except for the song she substituted with the girls from Haim. They came out and did that song at one point, and then the outfits, she wears a different dress for the Speak Now stuff than she did because of the fact now that Speak Now Taylor's version has come out. So that's a little different, but for the most part it's all the same, except the secret songs were different. And what else? I think it was pretty much it. But the SoFi Stadium, for the people who've never been there, it's a very brand new stadium. It's only been around for a few years now. Okay. It's where the LA Chargers and the LA Rams play. They share it. I didn't know it actually has a second venue in it.
What do you mean a second venue?
Exactly. It's called the YouTube Theater.
Okay.
And it's a whole ass theater, like enclosed on the side that physically connected to the stadium.
Okay.
So when you walk in the front through the ticketing area, you go through security, they scan your tickets, you go in. It's got a big, wide opening that has like stairs and escalators and access to the 200s, I believe. 200s. Yeah, 200s are there, 100s and floor go down. They have a different entrance they were using. I'm pretty sure they can get to both, but whatever, for this was set up differently. But then when you go up the stairs, because when you walk up, there's a big sign that says YouTube Theater. And it looks like the front of a venue. When you walk in and you go up the set of stairs to like the 300 level, there's the entrance to the YouTube Theater on the far right, and it's a full on like thing. And then during the concert, on the big screen they have there called the Oculus, it's a big old Halo screen that's two-sided with speakers and shit in it. They were advertising different shows that are coming there, and most of them were coming to the YouTube Theater. Like All American Rejects, their Hot Wet American something or other tour or whatever, summer tour that's coming there. But it's a full on separate theater. Like, I don't know what it looks like on the inside because you couldn't see it. All on the side with its own ticketing booth, everything over on the side of it. And it's, when I say physically connected, it's not like sharing a parking lot. It's part of the structure.
Right. I'm just trying to wrap my brain. So, like, that tour there would mean that the band's not there, right? You're just watching a live performance?
No,
so
it's a stage.
There.
Yeah. And it's its own theater. Like, they call it a theater.
Okay. So for some reason, when I'm thinking, so you're saying it's like a stage.
Yeah.
Stage. When you're saying theater, I'm thinking like movie theater.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But it's an actual like place. They call it a theater.
Like just a smaller place to play.
Yeah, and it's weird because like I didn't look it up. But like they have like larger bands playing there, like larger tours. Like the All American Rejects tour is playing in that, and it's weird to me because like how do you coordinate that? What if you can't have two events going at the same time, right?
Or can you? Because that would be the only reason why I think you would do that. But then you would have to have the parking and infrastructure to be able to support two things going on at once.
Yeah, like that's the hard part. Like, ticketing is one thing, right? Like how do you ticket one versus the other? Like you have to get in and then you have to re-ticket when you go to it was very strange. It was very bizarre. And the parking is it was funny. We ended up getting parking at the stadium, which is kind of costly but not as bad as it ended up being for some. And we were in the pink lot, and it says it's a 10-minute walk to SoFi.
Mm-hmm.
So we park, and I'm like, how is this 10-minute walk to SoFi? Like, I can literally see it right here. Like, it's like when we parked at State Farm here for her in when did we go see her? February?
Yeah, it was like January, February.
Yeah, whatever it was. We parked further away there than we did in SoFi, but like it was like definitely not a 10-minute walk. Like maybe a 5-ish minute walk, whatever, right? Way more organized. Sort of than State Farm's was. State Farm's was a fucking nightmare. Just getting in and out of it. Like SoFi was way better to get in. Like it took us maybe 20 minutes to park. Like I'm talking street traffic into parking. Was not, and the only bad part was that people weren't paying attention to like, hey, don't walk in front of cars.
Yeah.
Because people are stupid.
Yeah.
And they have like people directing traffic, like, stop, hey, go ahead and cars go, and then people start to walk across, say, hey, stop walking. I'm like, one of these people is going to get hit, and their fucking Taylor night's going to be real ruined. But that's what you get for being stupid. But yeah, no, for the most part, it was all well organized and like that. The show was great. That stadium is bonkers. So it's a closed stadium that's open.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that.
So all right, so
like ballpark.
All right, so when you go to State Farm here, right? It has a retractable roof, right? Whatever, right? If it's closed, everything about it is closed. You walk into a building and the whole thing's closed.
Yeah.
when you're at the what's it called now? The Bob? What's it? Chase Field? What's it called now?
Chase Field.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I always call it Banquet Ballpark.
Yeah. So when when you go there, they have it's also retractable roof, but it has those areas that are like
they have the giant panels in the outfield that they can open up to.
Yeah. So like when that's open, but the roof is closed, it's like a closed building, but with like openness.
Yeah, okay. Your windows are open, but your roof is closed.
Yeah. So this stadium doesn't have retractable window wall thingies. It's completely open on the sides, but it has a solid roof.
Okay.
And I guess it's designed where like if there's weather, it's not really affected by that because of the roof that goes over it is enough to stop it from having like wind blowing the rain in or something. I don't know. It's wild, but it's open. It's open. Yeah, it's open on the sides.
Yeah, but still, it's weird.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. I mean, I don't know because it didn't rain when we were there.
I'm not even thinking about rain. I'm just thinking about ambient temperatures and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad. The sun was on, it was definitely up when we got there, but not by when Taylor came out. It was like 8 something, so the sun was gone. But the roof is opaque, so it's not you can see some through. Like, you actually see at night. You could actually see like helicopters and planes flying over because it's by LAX, so you can see the lights from the planes flying over. It's pretty cool. And I'm sure if you were above it, you could see the lights from the stage hitting it. Because at one point, I think I have a picture from it from before. There's the diamond shape in the middle of the stage has rows of lights on it, and at one point they just shoot straight up, and it makes this like these columns of light, and you can actually see it on the roof. We saw it at State Farm, and we saw it here, but you could see it actually like light penetrating through the opaque ceiling. So I'm pretty sure if you were above it, like in one of those planes, you could see the lights and shit through it. That'd be pretty fucking cool.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
But it was so fucking loud in there at certain points. Like, this stadium is very new. I was very worried that parts of it were going to collapse.
There was an article, I just read the title of it, saying that neighbors were complaining of the noise.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
On that night of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that shit was loud as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, there was parts where, like, there was a standing ovation after she does a couple songs off of Evermore? No, Folklore. She has a piano stuff. She has champagne problems on the piano or whatever, right? And they give her like I say standing ovation. Everyone is pretty much standing anyways at that point, but they just screaming, yelling. She has to like stop because you can't hear her. Jesus. Because the crowd is so fucking loud, just screaming and clapping and all this stuff. I was like, holy shit, bro, wild how loud that place for being open was. Just obviously it's designed well enough where like the audio, I mean, yes, it's gonna be loud outside because whatever, like you can hear stadiums or whatever, right, when it's like, yeah. But the way this was designed, like I thought, oh, it's gonna deaden a lot of the sound. Bro, it was so fucking loud, dude. I was like, bro, planes are probably averting around us at that point. I was like, holy shit, it is loud in here.
I'm watching a video that somebody took. Let's see, where are they? I don't know how far away, but you can see the stadium from this dude's house, which is really weird.
Oh, is it SoFi? Yeah,
you can legit hear people screaming and yelling.
Yeah, dude.
In the arena.
Bro, I wouldn't doubt it.
Gnarly.
Yeah. It was wild in there, dude. It was crazy. SoFi is a pretty gnarly stadium too. It's very large. Like, cause I'd seen it when we were there, cause the Forum is literally across the street. The Kia Forum where we saw Harry Styles. Mr. Styles, if you're not a friend of his. So I was like, oh, that's a really big stadium. And the Forum is actually on the back side of this. The SoFi, there's actually multiple entrances, like most good stadiums have. Looking at you, Bank One Ballpark. So you can, and they have like, hey, this is entrance like 9, 10, 11 or whatever on this side, and hey, if you're floor access, coming over here, whatever, right? So that's cool. Multiple exits, obviously, as well, which is really nice. So Kia Forum's on the back side of it, on the other side from the main entrance. There's a whole ass lake in front of SoFi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is wild because like they're in California, and I know California's like on the coast, but they also have droughts because it makes sense. So the whole ass like big ass lake, and you can look it up. Like it's you can see pictures and videos and shit. Full on. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like how big that actually is. And then I realized we came in through the side entrance to where the parking was. And then you just like if you look it up on the map on maps and stuff, how truly big this fucking place is, it's bonkers, dude. It's so big. It's like over 70,000 tickets were sold for the first night.
70,000, jeez.
Yeah, dude. Like it, bro. Wild. And she has six nights there, 5 nights there, I think. It's either 5 or 6 nights that she's playing there, and apparently all of them are like pretty much sold out for the most part. But dude, it's fucking madness, dude. I was like, this is so like, I don't know how many what the difference seating wise is for State Farm versus SoFi. Obviously, State Farm's not as new as SoFi is. State Farm is fairly new for Arizona, but not as new as the SoFi Stadium. But like the square footage of this fucking place is bonkers, dude. And they really put in a lot of like, it doesn't seem nearly as cramped and crowded. At least where we were at, the places we went to, like the outer deck area and then level 400. But it definitely has like the cheap seats, like the high up ones are like level 7, I believe they say were, and they're pretty high up there. And that place is like real big. Like I saw WrestleMania was there this year. I obviously didn't go to WrestleMania, but I watched it on the television. And you see the place is pretty massive. But when you're there, oh man.
Real quick.
Yeah.
State Farm Arena, according to Google, or at least according to Google, according to Wikipedia, says that for basketball, it can fit 19,050 people.
Wait.
For ice hockey, it's 17,624.
No, that's not State Farm.
That's what it says, State Farm Arena.
Oh, arena. You need State Farm Stadium. Arena is the hockey basketball one next to it, where the Coyotes used to play. State Farm Stadium is the.
Named them the same?
Maybe. I thought the other one was, the Arizona Diamond Arena or something.
Anyway, so okay.
State Farm Stadium is where the Cardinals play.
The Cardinals play. Okay, yeah. So, where is it? Parking owner. I just saw this. Okay, capacity. 63,400, expandable up to 72,200, with standing rooms 78,600.
Yeah,
and then
sounds about right.
SoFi Stadium is 70,240, expandable up to 100,240 for major events, it says here. So, Taylor Swift might be a major event.
Yeah.
So there could easily be 100,000 people in one place.
Bro, I wouldn't doubt it. I sent you a couple pictures in the chat you can look at. One's the top. The first one is a sort of a panoramic. I couldn't get everything because like obviously I'm below an area.
Right.
But you can kind of see like the scale of it. And then the second one is just a view of the stage while she's performing with the bands turned on.
God, there's so many people there.
Bro, dude, it's so many people.
That one girl moved when you were panning around.
Oh yeah, her face.
Like
yeah.
Morse. Everything else looks really good though.
Yeah, she ruined my picture.
Oh, except for this weird hand that kind of like juts out.
Yeah.
And up. Is that a clock on the screen with like a countdown or something?
Yeah. So 3 minutes before she comes out on stage, I think I have a photo of it too. Hold on. Great for audio podcast. Yeah. So that is the countdown clock.
That is pretty cool though. Looking at the actual picture of one of the performances, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so that clock is basically it's counting down to midnight because her newest album's called Midnights. But yeah, it counts down, and then the place. I mean, it's just so fucking loud, dude. They're going ape shit for like whole 3 minutes. It was just.
I don't doubt it.
Oh my god, dude! I was like, holy shit! Y'all need to calm down. Trying to show you. Let's see. There's a video of live sparks flying on the screen or on the stage. I have the. Hold on. It's a longer video of. Oh, here's the orbs. I got the Tron bikes, right? Did I do?
Those sparks are awesome looking.
Yeah, dude, it's super fucking cool.
Like, I wonder who they hired to make. Not only I'm watching. Is she on stage right now?
Yeah.
Okay, because you see that little person. If the freaking there we go, moving on stage, and you can see it reacting to where she's. Or no, maybe not. Somebody's moving a mic. Never mind.
Oh,
I thought it looked like the stage was reacting to the person moving the mic, but it wasn't. It's just random. But still, like the production value behind this, I wonder, like who designed the stage, and then who designed all the special effects to go behind it. In their documentary about this. They really have to explain that.
Yeah, I'll send you a couple different videos of crazy ass shit happening.
Yeah.
It's in a while because they're fairly long videos, so it's gonna probably take a while for it to go through.
Watch those later.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty. The stage production is pretty fucking gnarly, just in general.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, so. Pretty cool. I would like to see a sporting event at that stadium at one point. I don't know what I would go there. I would never go there to support the Chargers because that's a travesty in its own right. But I mean, maybe WrestleMania or something if it ever goes back there would be fun because it was pretty bonkers. But there was like a 4-hour line for merch.
Did you guys end up getting merch?
No, because after the show was over, like we were leaving during the last song, just so we can get to the parking lot and everything. Which, by the way, again, commending the people running SoFi and their parking. Exiting was a breeze as well, other than stupid people. But like we were 2 hours. Like I walked out the wrong entrance, went to the wrong section of the parking lot, so we had to walk a little further over, but that's because I just didn't realize where we went in was not where we came out. I thought it was we just go out this way because it's to the back, and I was like, it's gonna be closer. No, I didn't realize we walked that far when we were inside. Anyways, once we got to the car, other than a guy who decided to wait for people behind other people's cars, I was like, bro, you can't do this. Right. You find a fucking spot to park, but not by other vehicles. Like, get that the fuck out of the way. Other than him, we were able to get to the car, get out, and get onto the street within probably 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky our parking spot was pretty close to the exit of the lot itself, but like we like still like it wasn't very congested. One dude didn't want to let me in, so I just I nudged my way into the next person because I was like, it's one in, one out, bud. He's like, that's just how this works. But you want to be an asshole, so I did get to cut him off later because he made the wrong choice. Not cut him off as like, oh, I'm in his way, but he decided he thought, oh, this line looks shorter over here, and I was like, you not paying attention, bud. And I just went past him to the left, and I was able to get in front of him into a shorter line because he didn't pay attention. But
Good for you.
yeah,
Good for you.
karma, as some would say.
Yeah.
Taylor would be one of those people because she has a song called Karma. But no, it was awesome. It was cool to see a second leg of it with a much better view than the first time we saw it.
Basically got to see the beginning and the end of it. I know obviously the tour is going to continue on, but
Yeah.
it's moving on to other places.
Yep. Yeah. So it was pretty rad. We got to see it for pretty cheap too for both times. You know, that's like we paid
right?
for both our for 2 tickets to both shows. We paid less than some people paid for one show.
That's right, because the first show you guys were able to get that one girl's tickets that couldn't go, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we got them for real cheap.
Real cheap.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not bad. I don't recommend doing a turnaround drive though.
Oh no, I
holy
thought
smokes.
you guys were going to stay down there. That's why I was wondering even when we were going to record today, because I was like, Jesus, they're going to have to stay down there and everything.
Yeah, we stayed one night. We stayed Thursday night. Went down, got Orla sandwiches down at Downtown Disney. Did some shopping and then drove back. Traffic and dude, bro. I hate driving the LA area or in California in general for the most part. Traffic is so fucking terrible, dude.
That's why you're the only one that drives it every time that we go there.
Yeah, dude, it was so bad, bro.
I can't drive that.
Dude, the traffic was so. I mean, granted, I know it was a Friday like afternoon, whatever. Dude, it was so bad. It took us. We left Downtown Disney at 1:45. I didn't get out of like nonstop traffic until I think we finally got out of it at like 5:30.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was terrible. I fucking hate it. It's too crowded. It's way too cramped. They try to throw too many fucking freeway on-ramps and all shit. It's just too messed up, and they're always doing construction. It's just fucking terrible, dude. It's like, bro, y'all need to do something, and it's not what you're doing because it's terrible.
It is.
Bro, dude, I was like, oh my god, dude. And then when we got past the traffic, just people were fucking mad speeding, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
it's California. Crazy,
dude. We did see last night. So last thing I'll say before we wrap this up. Speaking of traffic, so we're in Arizona. We're getting off the 10 onto the 303, right? You know, big old fucking bridge. Come down behind a semi truck. I finally get over. Right, we're going, and all of a sudden, just fucking motorcycle shoots past us like at least at 100 miles an hour.
Nice.
And I was like, damn, bro. Like, it scared the shit out of me. Because, like, it just... I was like, holy fuck, dude. And this is, like, 10 o'clock at night last night.
Yeah.
And there's, like, a lot of traffic, you know, or whatever, right? Not, like, a lot of traffic, but there's like, quite a bit on 303 at that time. And I was like, oh, here comes another one. I see a set of headlights just buzzing. And I was like... And it's a state patrol truck.
Nice.
Chasing him. And I'm like, oh, get him, dude. And it was like, I couldn't even... Like, this motorcycle was going so fast, I couldn't even see where it was at anymore. And then all of a sudden, another set of lights, like police lights, come on and start ripping after him. Before that the truck that passed us didn't even turn his lights on yet. And then they ended up exiting. And I don't know if that guy was trying to run from him or what, but they exited and we couldn't see him because they were off the freeway. But I was like, damn, dude, that dude was going so fast.
I hope they got him, or that the dude wrecked. I know it's a horrible thing to say,
Yeah,
but
but
like,
fuck that
sometimes
guy.
you have to learn a lesson. Like,
We did almost see a
'cause I've
motorcycle.
seen those types of people that ruin. Those are the types of people that ruin, like, the image of motorcyclists
Yeah.
for everybody else, because they just go and do stupid stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and then they blame everybody else for the problems that they've caused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because we almost saw lane splitting happening in the traffic, and a dude almost hit the side of a fucking car because the car just decided to get over in an opening, and he was splitting lanes.
And that's what the problem is with. Well, first off, actually, I would have to double check. I know that they approved lane splitting in Arizona, but it's only at a stoplight. Right?
Yeah, and it has to be less than 5 cars in a lane.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's still illegal to lane split.
Yeah. And
moving traffic.
Yeah.
Obviously. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but there were tons of them doing it in California, which I don't know if it's legal or not legal there. I'm not too sure, but
I think California's law is a little bit different because it's one of those things where as long as traffic is basically at a standstill or less than 5 miles an hour or something like that, you can lane split.
He almost died. That's all I know.
I remember reading, like, when I found out, when obviously we had this discussion a few weeks ago about that they legalized lane splitting in certain instances here in Arizona, and I was like, yeah, I've been seeing it. That's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And kind of dangerous to introduce a new law like that here in Arizona when for years it's not been like that. So you have those people that don't know that it's legal anymore, and they're not going to be checking for. I mean, they don't really check for motorcyclists anyway, half the time. But yeah. Anyway, different rant.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I think that's all I have, unless you have anything else.
I did have one.
Ooh.
There's a couple of things, but I had one thing that I wanted to show you. I'll see if I can throw the trailer up into the chat here, because I think that you would like this.
Is it the sloth one?
Oh, you saw it already then?
Yeah.
Yes. Slaughterhouse?
Yeah, so I couldn't find it. Is it a real movie?
It looks like a real movie that's supposed to be released August 30th, it says.
Yeah, so I couldn't find anything about it. I didn't do any more research after that, but I was like, I really want this to be a real movie because it looks fucking ridiculous.
And I know you like sloths.
Yeah.
And this thing is just a slow moving, but like it's so obviously a puppet, but it's kind of hilarious in that way.
Yeah.
And I knew that you would like something like that. Okay, so you've already seen it.
Yeah. I was trying to find a real trailer because the only one I saw was I think it was on IGN's Instagram, I think it was. Or was it TikTok? I can't remember. But it was IGN that posted it. And I was like, is this real? Because I really want to find it.
It says August 30th here.
Yeah. Do you find an actual trailer like on YouTube?
Yeah, it is an actual trailer from YouTube.
Okay,
Let me see if I can actually send it to you.
Yeah, definitely do that because I wanna watch the actual trailer, other than the one I saw on the social medias.
Right. Well, that was pretty much all I had.
Okay.
I thought since you were knee deep in Taylor Swift stuff that you wouldn't get a chance to see that, but
I did see it, and I loved it. And I was trying to find the trailer so I could send it to you guys, but I couldn't find the actual trailer. Because every time I typed it in, it would try to correct it to Slaughterhouse.
Nope, there we go.
And I was like, no, it's Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse.
It's a terrible name for a fucking movie. It's going to be awesome.
Terrible name. It's very punny. That's why I knew you would like it.
Yeah,
Plus it has sloths in it because I know you like sloths. And it's also a quote unquote, I would say, slasher movie type thing. I know how much you like those types of things.
Hell yeah.
It's very interesting how, like, we have this coming out, and then did you see the Killer Clowns from Outer Space game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you love that property.
Yeah, it's made by the people who made the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
But with the actual writers from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is actually basically all I had.
All right, cool. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
I have been Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.